Let's see. Hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Talking Into the Void. Ooh, it's been a while since we've done this, and I kind of wanted to get some these in and not just do the movie reviews. Like I didn't want because I had been able to do fuck off videos because I am a lazy bastard. But with me currently, as always, is Tier Alexander. Tier, how you doing, my buddy?
I'm doing great, my friend.
Dude, your internet actually sounds like it's not being a jackass because you sounded
Well,
clear, pretty fucking clear there.
maybe because it's not raining in my area, so I guess.
It's not raining in your area. Last I knew, it was snowing in mine.
God damn.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's that surprised. It's November and I'm in Michigan and it hasn't snowed yet. I was actually very surprised that it hadn't snowed before fucking Halloween.
That's amazing. Hold on 1 second with the clip.
Okay.
Just checking to make sure you can be heard on your channel.
Oh, I already went through and double checked that my microphone and all that is set up properly. That it's on
Okay.
the right one. Yeah, it happened like 3 times, and I now instead of doing that whole thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get a little complacent and see how things go. I'm like, nah, dog. I'm checking that shit religiously. It did that to me on Discord a while back when I jumped in to talk to a couple buddies of mine, especially one that I've known since like fucking seventh grade, I think.
That's a long time.
Uh, but yeah, don't really know what we're necessarily going to talk about, so actually I can go to some of my bookmarks. Let's see what we got in here. We went over the signaling one. Ugh, settling, not signaling.
Well, if you don't mind, I got something we can talk about. I wanted to give a shout out to Community Notes, the unsung hero of Twitter. It the Community Notes are my heroes. I, I think we should thank them every chance we get. Twice now, Ed Credit 15 has been community note checked and shut the fuck up.
Well, hell, have you seen that the shit that like V posted? Because I don't know how if you follow him or whatnot.
I don't think I follow him on
He
any
had a
channel.
he had a thing of quite literally some of the extras from that were like the figures or whatnot from the Resident Evil series. One
Mm-hmm.
shows Claire from Resident Evil 2 remake, and she's got the Daisy Duke's like basically the Daisy Duke outfit with a cowboy hat when she uses the single action revolver and cowboy boots. And like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they see this and they think that's fine. And for the Resident Evil 6 game, there was a alternate thing for one of her things where she like has a variation as an adult, kind of wearing a like variation of her schoolgirl outfit, and people are going ape shit. And I always the one that I found the funniest was the person that went through and was just like, you should never do this with a schoolgirl and everything. And he's just like,
She's an adult.
yeah, well, she's an adult, and it's like, okay, so you see a person, it's like a character that is voiced by an adult, made by an adult, and looks like an adult because of something or other. You don't see them as an adult, but she's like, you should never sexualize a school outfit, and I'm like, motherfucker, are you retarded? Have you not never seen the guys who brought up how they love the Catholic schoolgirl outfit?
Are you? Is this person that fucking repressed that they can't see a little fantasy? It's not necessarily the schoolgirl outfit or the schoolgirl. It's the fact that your lover or the person you want to be with is dressed as a schoolgirl.
Yeah. All right, so we're into real quick. It's
Clearly,
gonna
they
go.
don't have. Clearly, these people have never had the sexy nurse fantasy.
Yeah. Or
No.
any form of uniform. Ah, and Angela looks like she just joined us. Move back a
But
little bit.
and
Wrong freaking
I
server. How you doing tonight?
doing all right. I did not realize we were going to be in your Discord this time.
I completely kind of screwed up, and because I was watching that technological connections, and I was watching his thing on the dishwashers. Because I was like, oh, okay, well, he's got this earlier one. Let's watch that. Then we'll go to the other. It's like, then we'll go to the other one and go from there. And I watched the second one, which was this whole thing of like, here's how some other things that was like kind of an apology, some other things to take care of and whatnot. And I didn't realize that it was almost 50 minutes long, and I started that motherfucker at like 11.
Damn.
Oh boy.
Dad's got to get downsized like a motherfucker. Downsize. Further. Yeah, I am adding things to my freaking OBS as we speak.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have a little crawl, a little
Ooh.
little thing of the guns going through.
Hmm.
And since I got that, I want to say plus
Yeah.
display.
I only had a
I'll
heart.
say the first one. Nope, that is not what I wanted. Go back up. We are going to remove that. You guys can talk as well and continue the conversation. Is James going to be here? Or is he having some issues?
Honestly, I don't know. He might be. He was pretty rough during Quippers, so.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know that happens from time to
Yes.
time. That's what I was going to say. It's like I told you during the end of Quippers. It's like, no. And what's up, Travis? It's like, no, go ahead and watch the movie with Frost and them. Like, we're not doing that tonight. Because if we were going to try to watch movies,
No,
like, I
see,
haven't got fuck all picked.
my thing was for some reason, was just I'm so used to going straight from Quippers into some kind of situation where I'm talking with you guys.
Hmm.
Like, I have 30 minutes on a regular Sunday, I have 30 minutes between Quippers and jumping into some Discord with you guys.
Oh, shit.
So so yeah, it's like, and then you kept saying we're not watching a movie tonight, and I was like, does that mean that I'm not on the show?
I gotta figure out how the hell they do that to where I can go and change things and whatnot on this. I don't like that, so I'm not going to show Twitter anymore just to be safe.
I fully understand.
Oh, we were going over how V posted a thing basically dogging on people who were uh, getting mad that for a thing for Resident Evil, for like some figures, they had from Resident Evil 6 a character who is an adult but was a child in one of the earlier games as an adult wearing an iteration of a schoolgirl outfit. And they were all mad. It's just like sexualizing a schoolgirl outfit's always that. I'm like, have you never heard of any Western guy that brings up how they like the Catholic schoolgirl outfit? Like,
Oh, the Japanese schoolgirl outfit.
well, with hers, it would obviously be closer to the. Well, it's kind of a mixture in a way.
It's the same
Yeah.
damn outfit. It's just on a different person.
Yeah.
It's not like it's any different. It's a little plaid skirt with a little white top.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have a little ascot or a little
Yeah,
sailor.
and they have that at some of the Catholic schools too. Either that or a little vest to wear over your little white top.
Yeah.
It is not any different. It is the same damn outfit. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
We're actually in agreement. It's like what someone may want to look at with the person that they're going to be with and everything is completely their business as long as it's of consenting adults and everything. And with this, we're talking about fictional characters. This is like how they look at oh god, there's been several different characters that have come out in anime. They're like, those are children, and it's like the character is like a 26-year-old. They're just short. Are you trying to tell me that short women besides midgets exist or don't exist? Or that they can that only a short woman can only be either like be afflicted by dwarfism potentially, or are they still just a child as well?
What was that? One guy, only guy teacher. Like one of the characters in there was a full grown ass adult, but she went to high school. She was short as hell because there was a disease that literally paused time for people.
Yeah,
It was fucking dumb, but it's what it did. And she was about what 20. So with the main character, about 20,
Yeah.
23 around that area.
Oh, is this the one with the white haired chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like her whole family's that way. Because yeah, it's not high school if memory serves me correctly. It's freaking college.
No, it's high school. Like it's high school. But she and the main character are afflicted with the disease,
Yeah.
and no one knows that they have it because they don't like to talk about it because
Yeah.
it
Well,
literally froze them in time.
my favorite part for that whole thing is the people that would go and say it's like women don't have body types like that, and you'll see like someone will quite literally post a picture of herself and been like, "Oh, so I guess I don't exist."
I just love that too.
And Travis, it depends on the maid outfit because there's several different maid outfits you can go with.
I love you got to go with the French.
I was gonna say 90% of Japanese anime goes with the French.
Yeah.
Because French maids are best.
Because that's
No.
like for
Because French maids wear the sluttiest outfits.
typically.
Any difference?
Because that's like,
No.
oh God, I can't remember. Okay.
I love you, Angela.
Here.
I love you too, dear, but
I'm just saying, French. Yeah, it is rather slutty, I will admit, but it's still the best. Nothing beats a French French maid.
you think it's the best because it's the trampiest.
Well, it's like the character from One Punch Man. It's like Tatsumaki. I can never pronounce her name properly. You know, the terrible, or I think it's like Terrible Tornado. She's like almost 30 years old, but because of the use of her psychic abilities and also being a human test subject because of her psychic abilities, she doesn't grow like that. But her sister, who is also like 7 to 8 years younger than her, looks extremely more developed, like a regular adult. Or if you want to go with the other one, like you said, with the frozen in time, there's no more perfect example than the guild founder from Fairy Tail for the guild of Fairy Tail. Because of her using of magic, she quite literally got frozen in time and made immortal. Or her age in time.
Alright, so I can understand half the argument where, oh, you're sexualizing a child. No, you're not. If in the context of the story, if they're adults, they're fucking adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between actually taking a child and sexualizing a child and engaging in play as an adult.
Yeah. Now, again, a short character is a short character. Like you can't. Humans come in various heights, you know, and sometimes you have people with dwarfism that will be 4 foot nothing, and that's just what they'll always be.
Yeah.
But they have extremely big chests. You know, a short stack. They're adults.
Yeah. And there quite literally are people that have had that whole thing to where it's like they age progressively slower than others.
That too.
Now I know someone like Jack, not at Jack Gunsky, but Jack Cochran, be like, that's the Asians, because it's pretty prevalent that once the Asians will seem to age, like the way they look, age slower until they reach a certain age, then it's like, holy shit, like you mummified in a night.
Damn.
Wow.
I know a lot of, let's say some people will say shit like that, and I'm like, you only say that because you've never actually lived over in like Japan. I mean, granted, I was in mainland as much, but I was in Okinawa, and I ain't lying. Just like you see with every other ethnicity, you can see some pretty rough looking younger people, and that sounds mean, but it's just true.
I want to say that's racist. I want to say that's racist, but I can't. So I won't.
How is it racist to say that, you know what? It's like pretty much every ethnicity is not gonna gonna age gracefully.
I said I want to say it, but I didn't.
So, well, I know you said you want to say it, but it's like, how would you justify it?
Oh, I couldn't. You're right. I couldn't justify it. But it sounds so fucking racist to say that. It just sounds that way.
It's just one of those things that I get so tired of it for that whole thing of them being like, oh my God, how could you do that? And it's like, you're talking about this for people who like a fictional character, yet typically have no problem with the music industry overtly sexualizing pre-adults, like just below the minimum age to be considered a legal adult.
I got one better for you. You have no issue with a certain group of people who I won't name sexualizing children who they can consent to certain things like transitioning.
Yeah.
If that's not sexualization, then
Or the shit they'll want to put in the school for a lot of that, but they're only okay
yeah,
with it if it's like uber gay.
yeah. But we're the ones sexualizing children, right? Yeah, you go back over there. You cheese pizza lover. God
I
damn it,
feel
Cat
like
Lion.
asking you if you've got a mouse in your pocket.
I'm currently in my boxers, and she just wants to be pet.
Well, no. You just kept saying we want to sexualize. I'm just like, I don't want to
Yeah, because
sexualize
I think you were
nobody.
talking about the when you were talking for the school with the white haired girl, or typically kind of close to gray. I think it's the Americanized version of it. Zuzaki-chan wants just wants or Zuzaki-chan wants to hang out
Oh no, I know what you're talking
because
about. She was an
I,
adult.
I will share it to you in this one. This character, granted, this is a thing of them in a different style outfit. Because I've
She's an
seen,
adult.
yeah, I'll say I've seen the one where it's the teacher that's quite literally looks like a grade. It's like looks almost like a grade schooler in that whole thing, but they're actually an adult because of like some form of disease or whatever. Yeah, so the one you're talking about, I don't necessarily know. And if
It's called One Guy Teacher.
oh,
Only Guy Teacher. It's a good one. Cat, if you don't move away from that, I'm gonna beat you. Yes, I threatened to eat my cat.
I
dude,
hear you threatening your cat. Do you want to be careful about that?
Hey, if I
Tears wanting
die,
to eat
she'll
that
eat
kitty.
me. Yeah, I want to eat that pussy. Put him.
Ha-
All right. All right, here. Get up. You want to talk? Here. You up on screen now.
Yeah, apparently I keep seeing stupid shit to where because like I want to say for that one it was a chick who got pissed about it, and some of the other things I think his original thing was actually a dude, but the lot of them who just go thing it's like oh the whole pedo thing like Travis said the whole pedo coded and it's just like bro we're not talking about like teachers that are actually sexually and assaulting minors especially women
Hmm.
that are sexually assaulting young boys.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah, apparently I just keep seeing stupid shit today because, like, before the gym, I saw one to where I didn't read the full story, but it's through this one thing I have. It's like Geek Gamer Girls or some shit on Facebook. They post some funny stuff occasionally. Uh,
You know that shit. You know what? This coded shit. This is pedo coded, queer coded, black coded, and that shit pisses me off. It really does. You don't code just because some cards have a similarity to some other thing doesn't make them. Oh, he meant them for him to be this because of all these attributes. No, if he was that, the creator would have made him that. You know, that's not how that shit works. If the creator wanted the person to be black, he'd have just fucking made him black. Or he made him, if he wanted to be African, he'd have made him African. Or queer or gay or whatever. They'd have made them that way instead of just, oh, well, these attributes mean. No, it's not how any of this shit works.
yeah. God
Like,
damn it, where the fuck is it?
in like fucking, what was that dumb shit that,
Oh, and it says it's someone else who had done a thing on Twitter to where it's like a quick reminder for men. Common events for you can turn into really scary situations for women in a snap. And apparently, what it was she went and she sold a clothes dryer on Letgo, the app.
mhm.
And apparently, throughout the whole thing, some guy said that he would come and pick it up because he was going to pay for it because her and her family wanted to get rid of it. Well, apparently, he went the whole thing of seeing if he could go pick it up before work, which was apparently after that time period was after her husband had already left for work.
Mhm.
And I guess supposedly he made some like snide comments or some shit. I don't know. But I start going through there, and there's a couple of the guys who go through and make like the stupid jokes of like, I hate it when I'm walking and I'm behind a woman and she's looking back, kind of like looking nervous or whatnot. So I just start running to, so I can get in front of her so I don't have to deal with it. And then she starts running and I don't know where we're racing to anymore. Like the dumb joke like that. Yeah, it's a dumb joke. But then you see the other guys that are like, oh, like, okay, these are all these things I do. If I can see that there's cameras around, I stay out in front of them, so everything's, going to be on camera. And then one guy goes to the whole thing of being like, look, men deal with this as well. Stop trying to think that women only do. We cannot, goddamn, basically bubble wrap everything so you can always be safe. And there's always the things of like, oh, see, men don't understand this. This is blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, how are you going to sit there and say that you're supposed to be equal and then bring all of these things? I get so annoyed of the people who were like, oh, well, men don't have to think about any of these things. And it's like, are you fucking insane? Like, I know there's always the joke of men can shut off their brains, and it's typically of a way of decompression. We don't always just shut off our brains, or at least all of us don't, because some of us have minds that won't shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, some of you have minds, and I appreciate that.
But like one dude flat out had asked of just like, what are we supposed to do? But like people just come in here, they're like, any vehicle that pulls up next to you, waiting for all the comments, victim blaming the woman for assault or abuse. And it's like, look, okay, in this situation, you have to definitely take it as a learning experience. If you did not want to have that dryer picked up without your husband being there, or a male friend or family member that you trusted, you should have said no. You can't be. It's like these are the time frames I can work with, because then maybe the person who's going to be coming to pick it up might need help loading it because they have help to unload it. But they don't have help to load it there. And this isn't a fucking store to where you're going through to where you're expecting the employees to be able to do these types of things. You're going out on an app into the public.
Yep.
You have to take your own safety and security into your hands.
people don't think like
You're
that.
smart.
But you gotta remember nowadays, right? My safety is everyone else's responsibility, and I'm not.
No, you are
That's what he
you are
said,
a
though.
straight man and you are a black man.
No,
You're talking in general for a lot of women. Yes, there are the people. I mean, it always comes the same thing when guns are brought up. Why does someone need this? Well, why does someone need a sports car that can go 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat or less?
because I want it. That's all that fucking matters.
And the second part is or it's like for the first part of that one, it's like for the gun, it's like because it's guaranteed in our Constitution, you dumb fuck.
And that's another thing. Like I said, it's because why should I take responsibility for anything? Like it's everyone. Why should I take responsibility for my health? You know, you have to do this because I could get sick. No, I don't have to do shit. You should take care of your own health and worry about it, and I should worry about my own. You know?
Okay, this one dude is I still think has like one of the best things because the person who said waiting for all the comments, victim blaming women for the assault or abuse, and it says, okay, well here it is. In this case, she made a point of saying to only come after 5. So when the guy asked about coming in the morning before he goes to work, she says fine. So he shows up 15 minutes after her husband has already left and she let him in. To me, this is like giving him the keys to a car and is surprised he stole it.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair, in my opinion. And the whole thing of like, well, it's like this shit happens with enough frequency to, justify your fears. Or it's like, oh, it's like in that whole thing. And I do think a lot of it is women who are just overly paranoid. I mean, don't get me wrong. Relying on your actual instincts when something is off, that it's going to be off, you should trust that. That's the reason why every time I see like the blue states and whatnot, it's where you see a lot of women are voting for things that will not help them. Like letting out legitimate domestic, it's like criminals and rapists and things like that. Being like, we're gonna make it so much safer. No, sweetheart, you're not.
He just needs a second chance. He's a victim as well. No, he isn't.
He may have been a victim, but he consciously chose to continue the cycle. Because like I always have this issue with typically the parental abuse type thing that people bring up. Because oh god, I always hate seeing that one online where someone will be like, well, my parents beat my ass when I was younger and it taught me respect. And it's like, maybe. I actually doubt it.
There's a huge world of difference between discipline and abuse.
Oh yeah.
Now, a huge world of difference. Now, if you did something bad, it should be proportional to like. I can remember a few ass whippings I deserved.
Oh, there are times shit like that can come up, and it is beyond just trying to say that you're going to explain it or tell them to go sit in timeout. Like one of the biggest things of having a discussion with my dad about raising kids and whatnot, and I know some people, I know Angela won't, but some people be like, well, since you don't have kids and you're not married, how are you going to know this? That's why, like, when Monkey brought up the whole thing of people who give advice, but they're still single. How are you going to give advice when you don't have a relationship? I always like to bring up the joke. Well, like the old saying is, coaches don't play.
Ha.
But I've gotten majority of my information not from just looking at shit online. It's talking to my parents. It's talking to my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my friends that have kids. So it's taking in a lot of information from other places that are all dealing with it. And rarely ever am I telling them something unless it's something someone else had told me, unless it's like, dude, your kid's been eating plastic. Like, you're going to want to tell him to stop. I try to tell him to stop being an idiot. He's not listening. You need to go give him the dad stare.
I mean, but you can still give advice.
Oh, yeah. But like we got into the whole thing of like, okay, going back into the whole like my parents beat my ass type thing. And typically there were parents that flat out whooped their kids' ass. Like they were taking out all their aggression on them. But what
That's
you know,
goofy.
talking with my dad, there was a couple things, and typically because where this whole shit happens is about somewhere to like 5 to 8 years old is your variation range of when it's going to start, and it's typically when the Y phase starts. Every question you go with, they have a why. And a lot of parents are like, what the hell is going on? They never, like, my child never did this before. They just listened to me. Why are they all of a sudden doing this? Well, because their brains are starting to develop more and they're thinking more and they're inquiring on things. Like, I was a stubborn little shit who, unless I was explained a good reason of why I shouldn't do something, was most likely going to do something, especially if I was told because I said so.
Yeah, I can
Because we were
remember
going to
those.
have that argument and that whole thing. Because like my dad will say, it's like, you even do learn from your kids somewhat. You're not going to learn as much as the people that are like, the children are so smart, because guess what? They are not all smart, just like all adults aren't smart.
Agreed.
And what's up, Steven? But it was that whole thing. My dad did realize that in a lot of cases, if he'd have just said, hey, here's the reasons why, it's like, okay, don't touch the hot stove, because it's like the hot stove top, because you're going to burn your hand. Instead, he's like, don't touch this. Well, why? Because it'll burn you. Why? Because it's hot. Why? Because I said so. And it's just like, my dad had the ones before where it's like, he's like, I would ask why, and he's like, it's gonna burn you. It's like, and using that same example, like, because it's gonna burn you, because it's a hot thing. It's really gonna freaking hurt if you touch it, and that pain's not gonna go away for a long while. Even if we do X, Y, and Z, you're still gonna have to deal with the heat of it. That's why you shouldn't touch it. And when those types of things happen, I was like, oh, okay. Now, not always. Again, I was kind of a little shit. And I openly
Kind of still
admit
are
that.
shit.
Yeah. Stubborn as all hell, too.
Damn right.
But if you guys wouldn't mind talking for a little bit, I have to go use the restroom. Or as Adam would say, see my toaster.
Gotta go check the
Oh,
toaster. So how you been,
okay.
Andrew?
I've been peachy. How about you?
It's another day ending with Y. Thank God it's over.
I really wish it wasn't over, actually.
Why? Today was a great day?
I have to go to work tomorrow.
Oh. Ugh.
And it's pretty much guaranteed to not be wonderful.
Andrew, if you need us to ride down to California and have a conversation with a few people, we can swing by, grab James, and we can talk to this
Yeah,
man.
we're not gonna
Well,
talk about felonies on
but I was just talking about having a conversation. I never said what was going to happen, Angela. I don't even know. Oh my God, Angela, you would assume that I would do anything untoward and violent. I'm a God-fearing man of the cloth.
Okay, when did you go to seminary?
Just now,
So
like 20 minutes ago.
I'm not going to show the comic and the whole thing, but I found one where it's a lion talking to a crocodile. The lion says, I used to be the king of the jungle. Crocodile or alligator, whatever. I think it's supposed to be a crocodile for it would be. It's like, what happened? Giraffe took over after discovering his full potential. Wow. And a gun.
Rod, we gotta go. We might have to go to California and spread the word of Jesus to Angela's boss. We're gonna teach him, uh, a few lessons in humility.
No, that's okay.
Now,
I
for
never
most of that
think
shit,
about
they
it.
just need to stop being fucking retarded.
Pretty much. But
Well,
Yeah.
you know, someone stole all my lamps. You'd think I'd be upset, but I'm actually delighted.
oh,
Boom.
Jump off that, get rid of that. Actually, let's bring up this thing real quick and say properties, automatic.
I had a dog once, but I put spot remover on him. Now he's gone.
aw. On a good note, that means that your spot remover really works.
Who does? But he's gone. I forget who joke that is.
I can't remember exactly. Okay, I'm going to go to this real quick. We'll just click on there. Double check if it still sits with it.
I would dance and be merry. It would be a little scary if I only had a heart.
So that did not work.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to figure out how like Polly and all them do it to where quite literally they'll bring up a new thing and they'll go through and they'll change the size of whatever the freaking thing's supposed to be, but everything else in the background stays what, or the fucking thing that they actually were looking at stays what it's supposed to be. They can just change the area that you see.
Oh,
Like Polly does that shit on the fly, but I sometimes really think that man is autistic. Hearing Eve and Sam, otherwise known as the Freedom Frog on YouTube, because they've watched him work on like OBS and his thing that he uses for Photoshop, and the dude is just fucking ridiculous. That's like I'm still impressed by like trippy stuff from like Trippy Cast, because that man does majority of his shit on Paint.net. He hand does it himself for so much of it.
Did you see what Kefki did to my
Gave you the monocle.
my leg? She get I love it. It is literally a simple change. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's a rather simple change, but it makes me look very gentlemanly and very dapper. I love it. That will be my official avatar.
You are so easily pleased, dear.
I don't deny it.
I can't say anything. I'm not difficult to please either.
Oh, like I'm a Midwestern, so I'm not really needing the whole always strive to be great. It's typically just I strive for what I find good.
Yeah. All right. So my grandmother told me this. Like, just be happy. Life is it's just too much shit. You don't need to use another person's yardstick to measure yourself, or you don't. Sorry, let me rephrase that. If you use someone else's yardstick to measure yourself, you'll never add up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that was actually well, I'm saying actually a bunch of times. I don't know how into the show NCIS you guys are. Off the original one, I kind of stopped around season 17 after they had Ziva come back for a little bit and then leave. And
Again.
Yeah, my parents are still watching and whatnot, and they said it's okay, but even my dad's lost interest. Like the guy who's taken over for Gibbs is pretty good, but apparently, Mark Harmon, who plays Gibbs, like since he's an executive producer and a lot of other things, he was like, dude, I'm getting up there in age as well. We go back on some of this, but they had an issue to where an episode to where the time he was still just the medical examiner's assistant, Jimmy Palmer.
I love Jimmy.
And he sees a guy on a building like he's going to jump, and he just rushes up there without thinking, ends up grabbing him, and goes through the whole rigmarole. It's an amazing episode, in my opinion, actually. You know, he brings up the fact that he actually, after like 3 or 4 tries, he's technically a doctor. He's got his medical doctorate for that whole thing. And the one guy was just like, well, you know, all people, he's like, that's because they're only showing their A track. You know, it's like the A side. So that's all you're seeing on social media for most people is all of the great things they've done. You're not seeing the B side of it to where things are bad.
Yeah. The sleepless nights and the studying long into the dark.
Yeah.
You know.
All you're seeing is them being like, yeah, I went out and did this. And it's like, I bought a house. I bought this. And I'm like, I just shit post on Facebook most time.
So in college, we were poor. I can remember quite a few nights where I stayed up late in college working on something, or just stayed up really late to go to class early in the morning because I knew if I went to sleep at my normal time, there was no way in hell I'm getting to an 8 o'clock class. So I stayed up all fucking night.
Oh, dude, my parents filed chapter 13 bankruptcy when I was 4 years old.
Damn.
Quite literally, there were nights my parents went to bed hungry, so me and my brother did.
Jesus.
And I that is at least the great thing. That was one of the few things, like, yeah, of being a bit of a shit head and whatnot for what I did, or for when I was younger and everything, which is kind of funny because the whole going through with my parents had a high thought process that I might actually end up in jail, and never did. I actually joined the military. But I wasn't like my brother because my brother was a bit more popular and everything because he was more of a natural athlete. So he was the one who kind of wanted all the freaking, like, all the, you know, basically like keeping up with the Joneses and whatnot. And I was like, if I got stuff that makes me content, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't need a whole lot. Oh yeah. If I want something, I'll get it myself. If I don't need it, I don't need it. No need to get angry or fight about it.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, oh no, I'm easy to please. The highlight of my week is doing this shit. Talking to you guys.
Definitely one of the perks for me.
Well, I was like, over Thanksgiving, I had to ask my brother and his wife. I was like, so what have you guys been doing other than going to work and working out the same shit I've been doing? I'm like, at least you got each other and some animals and whatnot in your own house. Like, I live in an apartment, which isn't bad. It's actually a pretty decent apartment.
It's yours.
Yeah, it's that whole, well, I could still, like, I probably could have looked for a house if I just stayed at my folks' house, with staying with them, but it was after so long that's like, I even had to tell them, like, look, you guys, like, look, mom, dad, I love you guys, but if I don't have my own space, I'm probably gonna go in. It's like more than just a bedroom. I'm gonna go insane because this is your house, and I will not refuse to try to take over your house because, again, it's your house.
Huh.
And the whole thing. And, you know, both of them were like, we can understand, you know, for the past 10 years, you've basically lived by yourself. Like, seriously, before, like, when I had gotten out of the military for at least, shit, like 5 years at least, I had not had a roommate or anything. I say roommate even though, or it's like, you know, someone who lived in the same apartment as me. Yeah, I had a couple people that, or one person who, like, really, really fucked that up.
Oof.
Like, don't get me wrong, I am not the cleanest person, but I do not leave food all over the place, and I do not let dishes just build up in the sink and expect other people to clean them, even though they didn't use them to cook.
I hate that. I will wash.
Like,
At the very least, my sink has to be clean.
Like, I have dishes in my sink because I need to go through, add some to the dishwasher that are going to wait until I have enough to run the dishwasher. Because since they actually went through and realized, oh, there was some other shit that was a problem when I called, because I guess the bubble from where the drain goes from my dishwasher into my sink, because that makes a whole lot of fucking sense. But it goes into the portion of just by the garbage disposal.
Ah.
The bubble on that had freaking messed up, so it was draining water into my dishwasher until it got to a certain point. Then it would drain regularly. And like the first guy that went and looked at it, he's like, "Oh yeah, everything seems to be fine. Blah blah. You just got to make sure you do this." And the second guy goes in there, he's like, "How often do you use this?" I said, "I don't, because it didn't work properly, and a person came over and they thought they fixed it, and I still just didn't like it, so I just would try to wash my dishes by hand." He's like, "Yeah, I know this apartment." And he's like, "Yeah, there was an elderly gal who lived here before, and she did this. You have a lot of like excess soap buildup that's causing these issues." And he went through and cleaned all that shit. Motherfucker runs like a champ.
Nice.
I was like, oh my god, I am so happy. That's why with like watching the technology connections or whatever, and he was bringing up the whole thing of like people being so proud of, even though they have a dishwasher, still just washing dishes by hand. I'm like, fuck that. I try to buy more things that are dishwasher safe, other than like a few cutting boards and knives, and like knives in particular.
I prefer washing stuff by hand anyway.
You can prefer it, that's fine, and he doesn't have have a problem with that. But there are people that would go through and basically pride themselves on, even though they have a dishwasher, saying how they can wash it better and faster. And it's like, well, you have to understand, after I've loaded it and started it, I'm not pacing in front of my dishwasher waiting for it to be done. I can go do other things. It's kind of like the whole thing of like, you're not bringing your fucking clothes into your fucking bathroom and washing them by hand. You're using a fucking washing machine.
True.
And I can't remember where the fuck I was going with this.
I'm not sure.
Oh, it was the whole thing of like, I probably have about this lease and maybe one more lease in my apartment that I'm going to be in this apartment complex. Then I'm going to start vehemently or really hard looking for an actual. Vehemently. I can never fucking pronounce that word.
It's okay, Ron. I can't pronounce it either.
Yeah, I completely photosynthesize with you.
You're very cat.
But yeah, because like, I love the fact that since I finally was able to get it, I have my own carport, so I'm not always going to have to clean snow off of my car or off my truck, or my FJ Cruiser, which is nice because most of the places around the apartments around here, other than the one apartment complex that had a fucking waiting period, but they have garages that are attached to the apartment complex, not one of those apartment complexes that has like 4 garage doors and it's not necessarily a guarantee that there's a wall in between the garages on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah. But even the carports usually go for like $125 a month. Mine's 25. I'm like, oh, you mean I only have to spend $25 a month, and like as long as one's available to get in there on it, and I have my own guaranteed parking space, I don't have to fucking fight for them or anything. Yeah, notify me.
Click that right there.
Because that's the only other thing I want is once I get my own house, I want a garage. Mainly because I want to be able to park my own vehicle in there. I mean, granted, it's going to get a workbench in it as well. I mainly want the
Baby
garage.
steps.
Well, I want the garage attached to the house as well, preferably.
Okay.
I mean, if I can get super lucky and win the lotto, which is like one of the things I do play once a week, yeah, I'm going to have some property and everything, and I won't talk about it at all of what's going to happen, but I will go from not having a lot of content to probably streaming pretty regularly
Mhm.
because I won't have a because if I win the
You won't
having
have
the
a day
fuck you
job.
money, I won't have a day job until I decide to go to school for gunsmithing.
I would still have a day job.
Well, I want to go to school for gunsmithing because my whole thing's going to be is once all my debt's paid off and my parents' debt's paid off, and like plausibly most likely my brother and his wife as well, which I think is just like their vehicles and their house. So, well, and a few other things that I won't get into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to have property so that way the three of us can, or it's like myself, my brother, and my dad can also hunt. But the biggest thing is I want my own range and I want my own area to where I could quite literally build guns.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a doomsday bunker.
Not necessarily. I do want a safe room, but not in the panicked room style.
Get yourself a
I
Burt
want
Gummer prepper bunker.
I want a safe room that I actually would still have a regular one story. Like I want a basement so I can have like the safe room in there to where I could plausibly do reloading and stuff like that, and have like a small gym with most of the stuff I want so I can work out and not have to worry about other stuff. Because, like, in theory, my house would be relatively small, but my garage would be damn near the same size as my house.
Damn.
Well, because I'm going to have the FJ Cruiser that I still drive as my daily driver. I have a 1969 AMC Rambler that I need to get fixed up because that one has been owned by, since it was bought on the showroom floor exclusively by my family. So that's one of the ones I definitely like. But I would also want a property truck to where it'd be something that's like I can take out in the winter or the summer or whatever to do any stuff around my property that I could quite literally have like a rifle and some handguns and whatnot in the back of it, but not like in the bed of the truck. It'd also be the same thing I would use for like if I got a deer that I could go and have frickin' wenches and shit so that way it can be hung up directly on there and driven directly into the barn. But I would also want to have it so I could have like a trail bike, plausibly a snowmobile. Not too big on the snowmobiles, but maybe. And potentially a regular motorcycle.
I would love to get a motorcycle.
Well, because of the way things are, with talking with my dad, I'm looking more into getting a motorcycle endorsement because for Michigan, anything above 100 cc's requires one.
Uh-huh.
And for like $2,500, I can get a different scooter that can go up to 55 miles per hour. But it requires it requires, that I go through and actually get the insurance and the plate and all that, which I'd be fine with. The only thing that's a bitch is if I don't go through, it's like I can go through the whole process to where I can do up to 6 months and the whole thing, but like I can't drive it at night. Every time I drive has to be under the supervision of a person who already has their endorsement. And it's like, bro, I fucking work second shift. Like if I do this, it quite literally means I am spending my Saturdays and Sundays to go for like an hour ride with my dad because my mom rarely ever drives hers or rides her bike. Or because like on that one, all I'd have to do to get to that whole thing there was 6 months, I have to pass a written test and a visual thing, I think, as well. Yeah, sight test. My dad was like, I don't know about that. It's like, the one, if you go back with the one scooter, it's just that $15 for 4 years. of a tag, and I'm like, oh, my main reason for this is because I'd actually like to be able to go the fucking speed limit. And at least if, God forbid I get one and it gets fucking stolen again, my insurance will cover it.
I was about meaning to ask you about that. Ever find the asshole that did it?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I probably ought to call the police department, but they haven't called me at all. I'm still thinking, I can't guarantee or anything, but because like a day or so before it happened, there was someone moving out with a fucking U-Haul truck. I, in some cases, wouldn't necessarily be surprised if they just fucking picked it up and put it in the back of the U-Haul truck.
I hope whoever has it burns in hell.
I hope they fucking run into something and it fucking greatly paralyzes them from the neck down.
That too.
Because fuck you, you piece of shit. I don't want you to die. I want you to fucking have to deal with a lot of bullshit. I want you to be in I want you to be in a debilitating car wreck to where you have to struggle so hard to finally get the use of all of your limbs again, only to have it happen again.
My favorite one is I hope you stub your toe and like 5 minutes before it heals completely, you stub it again for infinitum until the end of time. I hope that your brain, a needle gets stabbed into your forehead and it gets lodged in your brain and you can't think straight forever. But that's just one of mine. What the hell is this game?
What game?
It's called Circus Electrique. Well, I'm not playing it. I'm looking at it.
Well, I know, frickin'. Oh, god damn it. Red Dead Redemption 2 went on sale again. I'm tempted, even though I already have it on my PS4. But I rarely bust out the PS4. I typically like playing things on my computer. The only reason why I'm even looking at bringing my 360 or my other games of like my PS3 and my my 360 is because my 360 I do have Rocksmith, and I need to start picking up guitar again. Because
I was thinking about getting me a learner's guitar.
I need to try to learn. Now I want to make the South Park joke. Tyr, you're black. You can play bass.
Come on, gang. I can change it.
So otherwise, like, shit, because we streamed yesterday. I was like, so what else have you guys been up to? And it's like, well, fuck, we streamed last night. Me and Angelo were on Quippers earlier.
It's like
out. But
we pretty much caught up on what we're doing.
I ducked out on Quippers because I lost signal. So who won Survive the Internet?
Frosted.
Of course.
But Jack got last place, I think, on that one.
Well, that makes life even better.
But he did win the final game. I was surprised I won the first game. I couldn't believe that. That threw me off.
Wait a minute, he won the final game? He got audience score?
Yeah, because apparently, and that whole thing, talking to him afterwards, the whole ran at 15 miles, a little off, but like, I'm not going to bitch too much, but because he's still getting out and doing cardio.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's not a put him on blast on something like this where he can't defend himself. Because for something like that, I don't believe in doing that. I do know I need to do cardio more, so I'm going to try to actually get the fuck out of bed when my alarm goes off tomorrow instead of snoozing it twice. But I will say, in it, because even though I didn't bring it up on your show last night, yeah, yesterday was one of the first times in a long while squatting 225 pounds for what's on the bar and the bar itself. Didn't feel really fucking heavy like it normally does. But that was also on a Saturday, and I hadn't done fuck all else really.
Mm-hmm.
So, normally when I do a lot of my gym stuff, it's after an 8-hour shift, if not a fucking 12.
Mm.
Well, it's not like my job is that hard, but I pace like a motherfucker a lot of times because I just do. My dad thinks I may have ADD, or it's like may have grown up with ADD or whatnot. It's just, I'm one of those people I don't like to always, I can just sit there, but I am not like so many people that are like, I'm just gonna see this thing, and as long as everything seems like it's going okay, I'm just gonna sit on my ass.
That's one of the reasons why I can't. If I ever do win the lottery, I can't just sit and do nothing.
That's
I'd
why
have to-
that's why, like I said, I want to go to school for this thing, and then that's mainly what I'm gonna do. I would also have a garden.
You did say that too.
I did. Because then I know I would also want to have a greenhouse for year-round gardening of like certain spices and whatnot.
That you did not say, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
We
And-
did start talking about gardening because I told you about my plans in situations that I would have to live in now,
Mhm.
which would require that I find ways to do like container gardening for small spaces.
Yeah.
You can always
And
do
that you could actually use those over your door
Mm.
shoe sleeve things to create a multiple planter.
I also know, talking with one of my coworkers who does the homesteading as well, that he was saying if you definitely have an issue with rabbits in your area, around the whole outer portion of where your farm or your plant, your garden is, do like 3 to 4 feet's worth of kale all the way around.
Mhm.
Because while you won't eat it, the rabbits will, and they'll fill up on that and not get to the vegetables you want to keep.
kale.
Yeah, the kale's not meant for you. The kale is to disincentivize other animals that eat plants to eat that instead of eating your other plants, so that they're going to get full up on it before they get to your good plants. Now, you know what I'm talking about. You're not just like, oh,
And
fuck
for
kale.
those of us who don't mind kale,
You'll still have some kale.
we'll have some kale left, as well as all of our good vegetables that we actually really, really love.
That's like one of the other things you can also do as well, depending on how much you're trying to garden, or it's like for how big of a garden or farm type thing you're having, is do raised. To where they're
Okay.
yeah, so then all you can just would potentially need is like a step stool, maybe, to basically something to where it'll be out of the norm, like it'd be still to where you can most likely get to everything in it, but it's out of the normal reach of what a deer's going to try for, because a deer or most of those animals aren't going to get on their hind legs too often and put their front legs on it to try to eat, like a dog will usually. That all depends on if you have like elk or moose in your area, because those motherfuckers are tall as shit.
Are huge.
Yes.
And will fuck you up.
Oof.
Yeah.
One of the great things about living in a city is that you don't have deer.
Oh, you occasionally do, but you just don't see them as often. They're more to the outskirts. Now, if you are going to do the homesteading thing, the biggest thing I will recommend to anyone after discussions with a few different people and seeing it is you want chickens. And not just because of the eggs.
They're easy to maintain, and
Well, if they're a bit more free range and everything from what you have, your bug issues will be down dramatically. And if you have other pets, the likelihood of them getting ticks goes down to almost fucking zero.
Yeah, because the chickens will eat them.
Yep. Yeah, because one of our old neighbors at my dad's house, like, they have chickens that walk around and whatnot, and because of that, they haven't had an issue with ticks at fucking all in the past couple of years. So, like, we got a coworker that had that whole thing of like how he wants to move a bit further north or whatnot, and then once he gets to the point that he has everything, that he doesn't really need any more money and whatnot, he's just gonna live at his home and do massive amounts of legal drugs and whatnot because he can. And he's like, "Yep, it's just gonna be me, my dogs, and I'm just gonna grow food and whatnot. Not gonna have any other animals." And I brought up the whole thing of like having chickens because they'll get rid of ticks. He goes, "I'm adding chickens to it." He's like, "His ticks fucking suck."
Oh,
You know what pet I would really love that I would never be able to get unless I move out of the city? I want a pet duck.
a pet duck.
Yeah, I like ducks.
And now I have that song stuck in my head.
I want a new duck.
That's not the song.
You got any grapes?
Anyway,
Well, there's the duck
got,
song, but
got any nails? No. Got any weights?
no, the old song. I like little baby ducks. Oh, pickup trucks.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I want a hippopotamus.
And
for
grass.
Christmas. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Only hippopotamus will do.
Yes.
Oh my god, Tyr, get the songs out of my head.
No.
Make them go away.
No. It's almost Christmas time, Angela. Just embrace it. Lie back, Angela.
I
Let it
don't
happen.
mind that I don't mind that it's almost Christmas time. I'm very glad that it's almost Christmas time. And I like the Christmas songs. I just don't like the fact that the same song will play in my head for hours afterwards. And
Oh,
sometimes days.
Oh, okay. Since you brought it, since since we're on the discussion of music, what is a random song that has popped into your head that you haven't heard in a long time? So it's like what song was it, and like how long do you think it's been since you've heard it? Because the one that has popped into my head the most recently, did it to me again while I was at work, is Wild Thing from Tone Loc.
Oh,
And I haven't
God.
heard that song in probably 20 years.
Wow.
I can't guarantee that, but I know it's been at least 5. Go ahead.
I was about to say "Push It" from Salt-N-Pepa.
Ah.
Oh.
I watch Grandma's Boy every now and again, and that song is kind of karaoke'd on there.
Huh.
You know that's one of the songs I know I haven't heard in 100 years.
Plus, it's on. No, it's not. That's not Push It. It's a different song that was on the first Deadpool movie. Yeah, because I had another one as well, but it was just one of those things that came out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden, bat. I was just like, what the actual fuck is wrong with my brain? I don't know.
There's another song. There's a fucking hell. Baby Got Back, but the fucking Pinafore version. The Gilbert and Sullivan version. There it is. So I was saying that
There
earlier
is
today.
an HMS Pinafore version of Baby Got Back.
Gilbert and Sullivan, like it's to the Pirates of Panache. There's when he doing.
I haven't ever heard that one.
When they're doing it's done to the scene where I am about a major general. It's
Yeah.
done to that
Okay,
too.
modern Major General. Oh Christ! Well, now that's the song that's stuck in my head. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that one. That would be why. Well, it's been a little over an hour. I think I'm gonna call it here just because we are rambling into nonsense, which is fun. But I kind of want to go watch Ranty Monkey, and it's early enough that I can catch most of his show live, if not all of it.
It isn't. I cannot say the same. I will be listening to him and probably Jack
Yeah.
while I fall asleep.
Well, that's the way it goes for some folks.
I'll probably listen in while I'm sitting here playing Guilty Gear.
Yeah, I am probably gonna go to. I don't know if I want to play the Resident Evil 4 remake or go back to playing some Borderlands 3, which I know is not the greatest Borderlands game, but I still enjoy it.
The thing that makes that the worst game is the kid character, and fucking they killed off both my favorite siblings. So fuck the game.
Well, they only killed off Maya.
They killed off Maya and they killed off Lilith.
There's no guarantee she's dead. That one's actually left open, as far as I'm aware, unless the new Tales of the Borderlands is confirmed that she's dead.
It's typical. They kill off They always kill off at least two. They killed off Skeeter, and that pissed me off too.
Yeah, they killed off Skeeter in Fight for Sanctuary, and obviously they killed off Roland in the second game.
Yeah. They really should have killed off fucking the Maya's apprentice.
Well, Ava wouldn't have been so bad, but they were trying too hard. And that whole thing. But yeah, we're going to get out of here. We can have that discussion at a later date because I'm wanting to watch Ranty Monkey. So,
all right.
For those of you who joined us, thanks for joining us. For anyone who actually watches in the future, appreciate it. I'm still trying to work on some things, and we will be doing another Talking to the Void in 2 weeks. And okay, so the last we did was Thanksgiving, and before that was Leaving Las Vegas. We want to do the next Nicolas Cage movie.
Sure. What's the next Nicolas Cage movie?
I gotta find
You
it.
said what?
Nick Cage. There, click on that.
I thought it was I can't say it without giving away because I can't.
What, City of Angels?
Of it.
It's The Rock.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It'll be The Rock.
Not the one that I was thinking it was.
It'll be The Rock, Con Air, Face Off, City of Angels, then Snake Eyes.
Good Cage job.
Why do I feel like there's one missing in there?
Well, 8mm after that, Bring Out Your Deads after that, Gone in 60 Seconds after that, or Bringing Out the Dead.
Again, good Cage job.
Give me just 1 second.
I still say, like, while Leaving Las Vegas was definitely depressing, like, Kiss of Death was really good for being just so out there.
When was The Rock? What year was The Rock?
1996.
Okay, never mind. I'm jumping ahead.
What movie were you thinking?
Because I was thinking of Snake Eyes.
Oh yeah, we'll get to Snake Eyes. Now I remember that one. But yeah, we'll get the Rock, Con Air, Face Off, City of Angels, then Snake Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go through. So we'll probably have some good sticking with Nicolas Cage for a bit before we go to a palate cleanser, because these are, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, the good Nick Cage movies.
Oh yeah,
because they are the good Nick Cage.
Granted, there are still some later ones or more recent ones that are good as well. But hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. I know we go back to the regular work weeks until Christmas, and I gotta try to get some more stuff to this, because I want to try to get up there more in subscribers and whatnot. I'd love for this to become a job, but not a job, but an extra little source of income. But I doubt that's ever going to happen. Not anytime
You
soon.
never know, my friend.
And dude, the only way that's gonna happen is if like somehow someone else gives a shout out, but on almost any other channel besides like Quippers and when I was on Frosted's, like if I'm in someone else's and once on there a couple times on P Dog channel, I refuse to whore out any of my shit if I am just in the chat
Agreed.
because that is wrong. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Unless you're told to.
Yes,
Then that's a different
that's the
thing.
whole thing. If they are cool with me doing it, then it's okay. But even when like Trippy, because Trippy doesn't care about that, and he's like, "Go for it," I still don't, just because I think it's not right. But again, personal morality and principles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
But
get it.
have a good one, folks. We will be on here next week with another movie, and we're gonna start going back and forth so we can anything that we don't necessarily get to on Tier's show, or we just want to talk about differently. We're gonna do on the off weeks. It's like on the alternating with this one. So have a good
That's
one.
pretty cool.
Well, it'll give us this because the last time we did one of these was August 17th.
And I'll have to remember to go to your Discord.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to actually be in there a bit earlier and whatnot. If anything, I might even start some of them on there, like Johnny, or we get a guest or whatnot. Because with that, it'll allow me to actually do a guest more than just the occasional person. But yeah, we're going to get out of here so I can stop looking at the stream stop button and do some stuff. Have a good one, folks. We are Audi 5000.